Let's take a moment of silence. It's candlelight vigil for Billy Napier in the Florida Gators season. A couple more seconds. Okay. That's enough of that. Episode 6, I believe. I'm filming this on Sunday morning, September 14th. Texted my friend Jacob Cooper, IU fan, Florida fan on the side, but when they stink, he doesn't affiliate himself with them. And I wish, honestly, I could have that same, luxury, but I can't. I had to sleep on it. We're doing a college football recap. We're going to do, Billy Napier's fired in my eyes. Florida loses again. What a shocker to LSU in Death Valley. They have not beaten LSU since 2020. Actually, they beat them last season. They have not beaten LSU in Death Valley since 2016. That streak continued last night. DJ Lagway was seeing ghosts. He is now the new Sam Darnold. He threw 5 interceptions. And quite frankly, all of them were his fault. None of them were the receiver's fault. LSU read him like a book. What the hell did I watch last night? Billy Napier, it's year 4. I might sound like it might sound like you're listening to the same episode as last week because it's year 4. The season's over in September. We started 4 straight seasons, 1-1. Year 1, you beat Utah at home. Hell of a win. Let's go. The Billy Napier era is underway. You lose to Kentucky in week 2 with Anthony Richardson just throwing darts into the crowd. Oh my God, that was terrible. Year 2, you lose to Utah on the road. Okay, so what? They're the Big 12. I think they won the Big 12, or the Pac-12, sorry, the season before. They're the favorite again. You'll get back on track. Year 3, you got boat raced by Miami last year at home. Played a cupcake the next week you won. Year 4, you beat a cupcake week 1. You lose to the Fighting Bulls of USF in week 2. It's the same old, same old. The gauntlet starts, and honest to God, LSU did not look great last night. Their offense, Garrett Nussmeier, they don't look good. I don't think this is Florida bias. Their offense didn't look great against Clemson. Clemson has a good defense. They scored 23 points last week against an inferior opponent. They had no run game. They ran the ball, I think, 14 times for 40 yards until the last play of the game. Literally the last play of the game just to seal it. Just to run the clock out. They had a 50-yard run. They had 93 rush yards the entire night. 52 came on the last play of the game when the game was over. Brian Kelly's sitting here snapping at reporters, talking about how the questions are so ungenuine and horrible questions and terrible questions for questioning his offense because, newsflash, you forced 5 turnovers and scored 20 points the whole night. That game should have been 70-6 for all I care. And you're over there snapping at reporters for saying how bad these questions are? Brian Kelly, you're a little sassafras. What are we doing? You're a diva. Your offense stinks. You got bailed out by DJ Lagway not being able to see a guy in white running around. Oh my God. Billy, I'm back to you. You stink. You're horrible. You can do everything right off the field. But what matters is when you're on the sideline coaching. And when DJ's out there throwing pick after pick, you got Trey Wilson running motion, pre-snap motion every play. He's running a goddamn marathon before the snap starts. And you know what you do? You don't change a thing. You're sitting in there digging in your butt while DJ's just throwing pick after pick. Jane Ball, he honestly should be a Heisman contender. If you gave him 25 carries a game, the dude can't be tackled. You want to talk about grown man running? That's him. He looks like Derrick Henry someplace. They can't bring him down. He's running through guys. He had 5 carries in the first half. Why? The Florida defense came out ready to play. They got Caleb Banks back. They paid him a lot of money to come back. Defensive tackle. He's a game wrecker. You got him back for 1 half, okay? That's that great paycheck we just paid. You know what I mean? He's getting paid $1.5 million, and he's played approximately 1 half of football in 3 weeks. Great. Sorry. Aside from that, the defense played great. You forced 3 straight 3-and-outs to start the game. At the end of the first quarter, it's 3-0. This game should have been over with. It should be 13-0. That defense isn't that good, for the love of Christ. Now we get to DJ. If there wasn't copyright infringements, we would have queued up the Sarah McLachlan music, the "In the Arms of an Angel." Those ASPCA commercials that always, I had to turn the channel when I was a kid because those things would make me cry when you just see all the dogs and cats in the shelters. That song's playing in the background. I gotta either leave the room, I gotta change the channel, turn on some SpongeBob, clear the mind, man. I was about, because what are we doing, man? Honest to God, whoever's running DJ Lagway's like marketing team, whoever this is, I need them to take over my dating app profiles. I need you to take over my Hinge profile and my Facebook dating, because holy shit, have we been catfished into thinking DJ is some competent quarterback, Heisman contender, generational talent. What the hell are we watching? He's horrible! Is he hurt? Yeah, his ego's hurt because he can't stop throwing it to the wrong team. Jesus. I think that's enough. I think we're probably good to go on Florida. We get back. I wanted to record this to get the college football out of the way. I know the last episode was super heavy. It went like an hour. And I kind of wanted to keep this a little more condensed. So today's going to be college football recap. NFL's going today. So episode next week, we'll have some NFL recap. Looking ahead to next weekend, all the good stuff for all the college football teams that their season's not over yet. Oh! But overall, it was actually a really good weekend or day of college football yesterday. It got kicked off Thursday night. We got a banger. NC State beat Wake Forest. That was a hell of a game. Friday night, not really. Actually, there were some good games. Indiana, I don't know why they're ranked 22nd still. They just started a civil war in the state of Indiana. They beat Indiana State 73-0, and Kurt Cignetti looked like he literally wanted to rip someone's head off on his own team when it's 35-0 in the second quarter. I mean, hey, Billy, why don't you take some notes? Take your hand out of your ass. Yell at some people. Maybe your staff, maybe yourself. But the Friday night games, that was the big one. Or the headliner game, was Colorado at Houston. The Fighting Deons, packed up, went on the road to Houston, and they kind of got popped. The quarterback, I'm not going to lie, they started their third string quarterback, and he didn't look terrible. I mean, the receivers, they lost a lot to the draft last year. The receiving core just couldn't get open. I mean, there's guys, it's like blanketed coverage. There wasn't much he could do. They made it a game in the end of the second quarter, early third quarter. They made it a game. Houston pulled away late. But yesterday, there was some banger of a games. I mean, Tennessee, I am so sorry. Jake Ratledge and Mike, if you're listening to this, wow. What an utter choke job. You were staring down the beast. You had the opportunity from 2 years ago in 2023 when you slayed the Dragon of Alabama and had the walk-off field goal to win it, at home again, mind you. You had the opportunity to do it again. There's 7 seconds left in the game. I don't know how long it is. It's a 40-yard field goal, something like that, and your kicker just pushes it. Oh my God, we didn't get his eyes checked. That wasn't even close. What are we doing? You had the opportunity of a lifetime to finally dethrone Kirby. You haven't beat him in 8 years. You come out and you're up 21-7 in the first quarter. Fireworks everywhere, proving me wrong. Oh my God, Tennessee, what are we? You're volunteers. You're volunteering the season away. Oh, goodness. You just let Georgia keep turning. The train just keeps coming down the track. Ah. Heartbreaker. It was a heartbreaker. More headliner games, though. South Florida traveled to Miami after their 2 big upsets early in the season. I still don't get why they're only ranked 18th. They should be top 10. I don't really care. You beat 2 ranked teams to start the season. One was top 15. And you know what's sad is they're going to lose this. They lost this game. They got blown out. Miami did what they're supposed to an inferior opponent. Hey, newsflash, Florida, take some notes. That's what you should have done last weekend. We're over it. But what's sad is South Florida is either going to be dropped from the AP poll or they're going to be 23 or 24. And what's sad is they have a better resume than 98% of the teams in college football so far through 3 weeks. and you're ranked 23rd. I don't agree with it. I hate how much preseason rankings are factored and play a role into these rankings early on. I mean, like FSU should be top 10. USF should be probably number 12 after yesterday because they did get throttled. Tennessee's 15th. They're going to get dropped to 19th or 20th. They shouldn't be that low. We're going on a tangent here, Andy. Lock it in. Lock it in, man. But regardless, I don't think USF should be penalized. They should be ranked higher. Miami did what they were supposed to do. Clemson at Georgia Tech. Joel, cover your ears. Dabo, you have a Cade Klubnik problem. He stinks. S-T-I-N-K-S. Hey, Dookie, that dude is not good. What happened? I mean, he was so promising early on, and look, I understand. We could call him overrated. You can call him all he wants. He is who he is. He's not. This wasn't he showed flashes against a top 5 opponent once, and you're like, it's in there somewhere. I think he just is what he is. He is a pretty good quarterback. He's going to beat up on the bad teams. He's going to compete against the good teams. He is not going to win you a game against the really good opponents on your schedule. Georgia Tech being one of them. I still don't know why Georgia Tech is unranked. Obviously, they're going to be ranked now. Georgia Tech should not have been unranked 3 weeks into the season. I don't really care. They beat Colorado on the road. They ended last season very strong. But Cade Klubnik, he is what he is. He's not a fraud. He's just not. He's not a talent elevator. He's not going to carry the Clemson offense. And that's what they needed. He's not 1 year better in these systems. He's just 1 year older. That's it. He is what it is. I'm sorry. Clemson, you're still a playoff contender, but I don't know. You're 1-2 already. You got a gauntlet coming up. FSU's looming now. Thank God you have them at home, but it is officially scary hours for Clemson. Welcome to the club, man. Florida's been in scary hours for the last 4 years. Billy, you make me drink. You are the reason I drink on the weekends. Done with Florida. Andy, if you reference Florida one more time, you're putting yourself in timeout in the corner of this shit. God damn it. Alabama whipped up on Wisconsin. This was in our Pick'ems league, me and a couple buddies from college, and I just picked them to win. But, we can either pick them to win or cover, and vice versa. Wisconsin win and cover. I didn't really know what was going to happen. Wisconsin isn't great, but I didn't know what to expect from Bama. I thought they would just win and cover. The spread was 21.5, I believe, and I was like, that's kind of a deep spread. That kind of feels like a big spread for this matchup. And they took care of business, dude. The game was over with at halftime. It was 28-7, I believe. Or no, it was 21-0 at halftime, I think. And second half, it ended up being 38-14. Bama looks good. I don't really know how much you could take away from this. They start conference play next week. And I think Georgia in 2 weeks. They got to go to Athens. And Gunnar Stockton and co. will be waiting. Kirby Smart. Did you guys see that? He was walking off the field after the game, and he just... What are we doing, Kirby? Well, who are you doing that to in the crowd, you little freakazoid? I don't care that you won the game. That was disgusting. I don't want to see that. Ah, gross, man. Gross. Whoever was that cameraman, fire him on the spot, you little freak, too. You kinky bitch. That was disgusting. Wow. I gotta take a sip, cleanse my soul of that. Not a headline matchup, but it was part of my absurd parlay of the week. The Fighting Huskies of the University of Connecticut traveled to Delaware. Now, Delaware, yeah, not a prominent football team, okay? The camera angle, when you're looking at it, when they're kicking the extra point at one side of the stadium, you can literally just see the practice field. Like, this is an inferior opponent. You just took Syracuse to the brink last week in Connecticut. You did. You just took Syracuse to the brink. You lost them in overtime. I took you to win this game pretty confidently, and you go and just poop all over the field. You pee down your legs, and you lose in overtime to the Fighting Delawares. I don't even know their mascot, and you got shit on by them. What are we doing? Sorry, moving on. I'm getting really heated this episode, and I don't know why. I thought sleeping on it would cool me off. It didn't. It did not at all. I'm scrolling down ESPN right now looking for these headline matchups. I didn't realize USC went to Purdue this weekend. That's actually a pretty good test for USC. I think they're much improved this season. The problem is that Lincoln Riley has never been able to field a defense, it feels like, in his coaching tenure. in college. And this season, he kind of, in the offseason, is kind of like, hey, I think we got something cooking on defense this year. Doubt us all you want. We didn't do anything with Caleb Williams. Miller Moss was here last year. He didn't do anything. He's gone. Doubt us all you want. You think the chamber's empty? Nuh-uh. It's just loaded. They're 3-0. They've looked good so far. They beat Purdue by 2 scores on the road to open conference play. Ryan Brown for USC. Is that the USC quarterback? Let's see. 305 passing. No, that's the Purdue quarterback. Hey, Andy, maybe do some research next time. I don't know. Purdue quarterback, 305 passing yards. That's pretty nice. Too bad you lost. You scored 17 points. Oh, that's still more than Florida, by the way. Timeout, Andy. Put yourself in timeout after the episode. You referenced Florida again. Scrolling through. Last night, there was another, at the same time as the Florida game, was Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Hey, I had Texas A&M losing on the road to Notre Dame. I didn't think there was any way. Notre Dame started 0-2 under Marcus Freeman. Well, obviously, the start the season. I didn't think, coming off a bye week, I thought their defense would have a good game plan. I thought offensively they'd have something cooked up, and they did. You scored 40 points against Texas A&M. The problem is you gave up 41. Hey, guys, I don't know if you're aware, but the whole name of the game in college football and in sports in general is don't give up more points than you score, Notre Dame. And what did you do? You gave up one too many points to Texas A&M? You let Marcel Reed throw for 360 on your head top. What are we doing? He's not that good of a quarterback. You let one guy on Texas A&M go for 200 in receiving yards. Mario Craver. He's just craving more yards. That was terrible. I'm sorry. You let him go for like 8 for 200 or 7 catches for 200 yards and a touchdown. Notre Dame, do you guys not remember what your MO is? It's ground and pound, and we're going to beat you on defense. We are going to beat you down on defense to the point where you are not going to want to come back and face us again. They scored 41! They'll face you every day, every week of the season now, if that's how it's going to go. Marcus Freeman, you made the national championship last season. You're 0-2 now. Am I going to have to heat up your seat? Good. Whoa, I almost dropped an F word there. Actually, I did on the emergency pod. We're not even cutting it out. We're just going, Marcus Freeman, I'll fire you just so you can replace Billy Napier, dog ass at Florida. Moving on. As far as headline matchups go for the rest of college football, there weren't a ton off the top of my head. There was supposed to be one. Vanderbilt at South Carolina was supposed to be a banger, and I took Vanderbilt to cover on the road. But they killed South Carolina. Vanderbilt wins 31-7. The problem is Lenore Sellers got hurt on the second drive of the game, I think. Something like that. And it wasn't the same. I mean, the game was over at that point. To expect a backup quarterback to come in cold against an SEC opponent, and not an inferior SEC opponent, mind you. Like, Vanderbilt is pretty freaking good this season. But expect them to come in and try to compete and lead you to a victory is difficult. But Vanderbilt, it was kind of a snoozer. I mean, hey, congrats. They're 3-0, I think, now as well. They could make some noise in the SEC. They could upset some teams as well. It just stinks that the win came like that. It was a snoozer after that. They just, they steamrolled South Carolina. You took care of business. You did. I'm not faulting you for that. It took a lot of the hype, it was taken out of the stadium at that point. The stadium knew the game was over. Ohio State, you played another in-state team, Ohio. You won. You rolled over them. Penn State rolled Villanova 52-6. You have to beat the basketball schools. That's another rule. Last episode, I said, don't lose to food. Don't lose to directional schools. Don't lose to toothpaste. And I amended that third rule. I said, don't even play toothpaste. But Syracuse, you did. You beat toothpaste. Congrats. Whatever. You got clean teeth now. Go to the doctors next, idiots. But don't lose to basketball schools. That's another one. Don't lose to basketball schools in football. But the last, I think, point I really wanted to make about this week of games that happened yesterday, Texas. They played UTEP. They beat them 27-10. They were up a couple scores the whole game, it felt like. Arch Manning's stat line was not great. I'm not going to lie. I was looking at it this morning because I saw that score, and I thought it was a little peculiar. 27-10. That's not, that's like a bit on the road in the SEC against an inferior opponent. And, you took care of business, basically. But you do like 14 to 25, 114 passing yards. That's not inspiring whatsoever. And it really kind of begs the question of what is Texas this year? I mean, genuinely, what are we to expect from them? They're 2-1 now. You put up 7 points against Ohio State, and that touchdown came very late in the game, or it came in the fourth quarter. Your offense looked very stagnant against Ohio State. Last weekend, you scored in bunches and then not really much at all the rest of the game. Yesterday, I don't know, man. Texas was the preseason number 1. They were like the clear-cut favorite in the SEC coming into the season. A lot of hype around them, a lot of D-line transfers. They reloaded at O-line. They always have, playmakers at receivers. You have Arch Manning, who's supposed to, the last name, with that last name is supposed to be the second coming of Jesus. They were expected to just run the table again, We'll see you in the SEC championship again. Maybe you'll redeem yourself against Georgia this year. It was like, that's all you heard all offseason when it came to the SEC was Texas this, Texas that. Hey, Steve, Mr. Sarkisian, why don't we have Arch Manning text his uncle, Uncle Peyton Manning? Because this guy blows chunks. Maybe he could take a note or two on how to play the quarterback position. This isn't, I don't care. Like, I know he got a lot of hype. He's like DJ Ladway. You got a lot of hype coming into this season, and maybe he's just not as good as that is. There's a difference between not being generationally good, not being one of those top 5 upper echelon college football quarterbacks, and then being like 50 feet of shit, and then being just bad. He's been bad like DJ. This is concerning. I mean, Texas is looking big picture, could be overreacting. They start SEC play next week, but Texas is looking more like a 9-3 team, maybe 8-4, 9-3. I mean, they're not. This isn't, they're a talented team. Yes, they are. Okay, like they're a very talented team. They don't start SEC play next week. They start SEC play the week after, I believe. They play Sam Houston next week off. Then they go to Florida, which is probably going to be a cakewalk win because DJ is going to throw 8 more interceptions that game. But I don't know, man. They don't have an easy SEC schedule. You start at Florida. Next week, you play host to Oklahoma. Hey, newsflash, John Mateer's a Heisman favorite. That quarterback is slinging it. He just had another 350 total yards yesterday and a couple touchdowns. Oklahoma's good. You go on the road to Kentucky, should be a win. It should be. You go on the road to Mississippi State. Hey, they're making some noise this season. You should win that game. You should. But they're making some noise this season. They beat Arizona State, Big 12 champs. Arizona State, mind you. They're looking pretty good. You play host to Vanderbilt. Again, those 3 games, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, those should just be WWW. I shouldn't even have to dive into these. You know what I mean? Like, it should just be Florida, Oklahoma, win, Georgia. No. Kentucky should just be a W. But Mississippi State, they're gonna give you a run for your money. They are. You're on the road at Mississippi State too. Those cowbells are gonna go crazy on 3rd and 10. Hey, Arch, I see your hand shaking. You're nervous. Then you play host to Vanderbilt. They're gonna be playing with some fire. I don't really care. I mean, they are. Then you go on the road to Georgia, where you got to hear the band on 3rd and 18 when the frickin' CJ Allen's got to come and destroy the quarterback. I hate Georgia so much. But then you have Arkansas and Texas A&M to end the season. I'm just saying, they're 2-1 right now. I could easily see, for sure, I could see 2 or 3 more losses. I mean, they could end the season 8-4, and then you're left with, wow, Arch Manning is underwhelming, and wow, Steve Sarkisian, you might not be a miracle worker like we think with quarterbacks. I'm throwing it out there. Just, hey, there's whispers. There were whispers out there that Steve Sarkisian could have some major questions after the season about what he's doing with the quarterback position. I mean, Quinn Ewers wasn't, he wasn't great last season. He wasn't. He was serviceable at best. Wasn't great, though. Just saying. It's concerning. But, however, let me get to my one last topic I wanted to cover. College Gameday next week announced late last night, that they are going to Coral Gables. Now, from an outside perspective, hey, good for Miami, man. They're really good. They've had 2 really good wins so far this season. They beat Notre Dame at home, and they beat USF at home, who not a lot of people put a lot of stock in that game. That's 2 ranked wins. You have 2 ranked wins already in 3 weeks. The problem is they're facing Florida next weekend. Why in the hell are we taking College Game Day to Florida, Miami next week? Have they not? Was this pre-planned? Like, was this just set in stone before the season started? And they're like, well, we can't change it now. Hey, yeah, you can. Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler. I do not want to hear you guys on the call next weekend when DJ Lagway's 18 of 44 for 302 yards and 6 interceptions. I don't want to hear them. I don't care. There are plenty of other games to be calling next weekend. I'll list them right now. Texas Tech at Utah. Winner of that game is going to the Big 12 Championship. I don't care. I'll say it right now. The winner of that game, Texas Tech, Utah, is going to the Big 12 Championship. Those teams are loaded. Maybe not loaded. Those teams are really freaking good. That's a bang-over matchup. 2 ranked teams, by the way. Yeah, a 2 ranked team matchup. Florida's 1 and 2. That's not a ranked matchup. Indiana hosts Illinois. I don't care that that's not maybe a big name matchup to casual fans. Maybe don't be a casual fan, you bozos. That's a ranked matchup. Indiana should be top 15. Illinois is top 10. Again, that game could also have Big 10 championship implications, because I'm just saying that's a big game for both teams on that schedule. Whoever wins that has a really good shot at making the Big 10 championship. And B, playoff implications as well. I mean, I could say the same thing about Texas Tech, Utah as well. That applies for both games, okay? Don't get me wrong. Like, that applies for both games right there, okay? Even this one loses a little bit of steam if Lenore Sellers is out long term, but South Carolina travels to Missouri. That's a huge matchup now. If Lenore Sellers is healthy for next weekend, that's a huge SEC game. I mean, Eli Drinkwitz, as much as you want to clown him for being a nerd, myself included, I can because I'm also a nerd, but as much as you want to clown him, he's got that program up and running. I mean, he's getting the most out of Missouri football that he can. And that's going to be a heck of a matchup if Lenore Sellers is healthy, which I think he will be. I hope it's not a long-term injury. Just hoping so. But, however, I think that's about it. I was trying to think of what else I wanted to do. I think that's about it. We've got about 30 minutes already. We gave you a good college football matchup, or recap of yesterday and the games that happened this weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe, to recap NFL, preview, Andy thoughts, whatever. Andy Lytics, whatever. Everything's coming back on Tuesday. I just wanted to get this out of the way. I needed a Billy rant. I needed a Florida rant. And I also wanted to recap college football. However, love you guys. Comment what you guys want me to talk about. We got to get some guests on this. I got to figure out how to get a guest on this. I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to. I don't think I'm riding solo on this for a reason. I'm trying to figure it out, okay? Love you guys. See ya.